Hey, what's going on, y'all? SBN here, Sports Bash Nation. The Bears have finally fired Luke Getsy. What a great day to be a Bears fan. It was a move that we all knew was coming. I don't know why it took so long, but I'm glad that they finally made the move. So yeah, it looks like Matt Eberflus is going to stay, which is the expected move. I'm glad that we're keeping that continuity. Now it's time to go out and get competent offensive coordinator. I'm thinking that a more experienced offensive coordinator, somebody who's already done it, preferably with head coaching experience. So I have a list of 10 guys right here that I think that the Bears should at least give a look at. And I think one of these 10 guys would probably be the next offensive coordinator for the Bears. I'm going to start with Frank Reich. I've mentioned him before. I think he's the most likely candidate. You know, he's been a successful head coach for the Indianapolis Colts. He had that disastrous year this year with the Carolina Panthers, but he has been a successful coach and offensive coordinator in the NFL. Former quarterback in the league. The main reason why I think that the Bears are going to go with Frank Reich, because Matt Eberflus was a defensive coordinator under Frank Reich in Indianapolis, so they do have that familiarity. And sometimes when you bring in, as a head coach, when you bring in a coordinator who's already been a coach, sometimes you have that worry that they're going to butt heads. These guys obviously have a relationship, they've worked together, and they have respect for each other. So I don't think that would be an issue with Frank Reich. Second on the list, Eric Bieniemy. Obviously, he's been a hot head coaching candidate for the last 5 or 6 years. You always hear about him being the next guy to be a coach. But for whatever reason, he never gets that call. Very successful offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was with the Commanders this year, which, I mean, they had some success, but obviously it didn't go well. But with the players they had, there was really nothing that he could do to help that team. I think that he is somebody that could help the Bears if we do hire Eric Bieniemy. Anthony Lynn is the assistant head coach / running backs coach for the 49ers. He spent 4 years coaching the Chargers. He went 12-4 in 2018 as head coach of the Chargers. Yeah, he's been successful in the league. He's been a running backs coach. I kind of would prefer, offensive coordinator who's been a quarterback or a quarterbacks coach. But as long as the offensive coordinator is good. Next, Greg Roman, a longtime offensive coordinator for the Ravens from 2019 to 22. He was their coordinator in 2019 when Lamar Jackson had his MVP year, and he was named assistant coach of the year in the NFL. He was also the offensive coordinator for San Francisco from 2011-2014 under Jim Harbaugh. So that's kind of interesting, that relationship that he has. But yeah, Greg Roman, he has been successful as an OC. He kind of got let go with the Ravens last year. Lamar Jackson got injured. They had issues that were outside of anybody's control. I still think he's a good offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for the Chargers, former offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and former Boise State quarterback. Now, he has interviewed for the Chargers head coaching job, so he was the coordinator there. Obviously, Brandon Staley was fired. They might keep him on as the head coach. If he doesn't get that job, he'd be an interesting option for offensive coordinator. Next up, Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury, a very interesting option. Former coach at Texas Tech, obviously former Arizona Cardinals coach. His resume with quarterbacks, he's worked with a lot of the top quarterbacks in football today. He's developed or worked with Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray. So, he's definitely, if you want that college-style, fast-paced passing offense, Cliff Kingsbury is somebody. Right now, he's the quarterbacks coach at USC. So that's another interesting option. If the Bears do go with Cliff Kingsbury, are they kind of thinking about going with Caleb Williams? Because Cliff Kingsbury was his quarterbacks coach this past year. If they go and hire Cliff Kingsbury, that might be a sign that they're going to be looking at Caleb Williams, a little extra hard and getting in Kingsbury's mind to see what he thinks about Caleb Williams. Next, Ken Dorsey, former Miami quarterback and Buffalo OC. He was the offensive coordinator for Buffalo just this past year, and they fired him during the year. So that'd be somebody to look at. Also, I got Jim Caldwell. We all remember Jim Caldwell, former head coach of the Lions, former head coach of the Colts. He was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for years. People throw dirt on Jim Caldwell's name, but he has been a good coach, and I know he hasn't been on the sidelines. He's been like an analyst the last few years, but if he decides to get back to a coordinator position, Jim Caldwell would be somebody to look at. Next, Arthur Smith, the Atlanta Falcons coach who just got fired, former Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. Yeah, I don't really like Arthur Smith. Obviously, he's gotten a head coaching job for a reason. Probably somebody they'd take a look at, but probably a long shot. And my final choice, this is a wild card, Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, the head coach at UCLA, coached the Eagles for a couple years, coached the 49ers, the guy who was supposed to change the future of offense in the NFL. That kind of never worked out. He kind of just got sent back to the college game. But he's never been a coordinator in the NFL. He got those head coaching jobs. He is an offensive mastermind, so it would be interesting what he could do with this Bears offense next year as an offensive coordinator. Anyhow, those are 10 guys I got. Obviously, there's a lot more guys that they're going to be looked at. Who do you guys think the Bears should look at for offensive coordinator? There's a lot of good minds in the league. We're not short on options, and I pray and hope that we're going to find the right offensive coordinator this time. Anyways, that's it for now. You know I'm going to keep y'all updated. Anything goes down. Y'all stay blessed. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.